Thank you for joining me in another video. In this video, I am making one of my oldest soaps, probably something that I made when I first started soap making more than 10 years ago. And it's a 2 milk hot process oatmeal and honey soap. In my pot here, I have my melted fats, which are, let me get my sheet here. I'm using 75% beef tallow. Then I'm using a combination of soft oils. I will put the percentages in the comment section below. Not only just the oils that I'm using, but also I have put down the percentages of the other ingredients that I am using. If you want to duplicate this, at your own discretion. It's a personal thing. This is my recipe. You don't have to use it. You could be just looking at the technique. I am going to add in my ROE. Sorry about that. And it's going to be four drops. And I'm going to blend them in well. I have coconut milk powder and I have buttermilk powder. So I'm blending those in, and I want to make sure there are no lumps. I'm just going to pour my lye water with my oils. My only concern for this is that normally your crock pot should be double the size. And unfortunately, it's of course me being me, was not thinking this through. And what did I do? I used a small crock pot. I am going to have to watch this carefully and make sure it does not overflow. Now I'm going to stick blend this to a thick, creamy, like pudding consistency, and then we'll start with the complete cook. I have been blending this several minutes, and as you can see, this stuff is super thick. My crock pot on low. I'm going to take a look at the temperature. And I can't see. Let me see if I can see this. It's at 100 and it's 172. Still a little warmer than I wanted it to be. I wanted to keep it around 160. Now I am going to cover my lid, and it's still on low, and wait for it to continue to cook. So, love her. So one of the great things about tallow, especially if you're into sustainability, tallow makes one of the hardest bars of soap. When I say tallow, I mean beef tallow. Makes one of the hardest bars of soap out there. You are repurposing fat that would normally go into the ground. So for those who are not tallow users, rather than make a negative comment on the video, just click off of it. And those of us who are tallow users, go for it. I'm going to cover this and then wait patiently as the soap cooks. And I'm not going to go far away, because whenever you are working with hot process soap, you need to stay near. You never know when it's going, when or if it will volcano. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I haven't yet pinpointed when they do and when they don't. So as I am looking at the pot, I think I see a little separation there. So I'm going to go in. Yes, and I do see some separation. So I'm going to stir it up. And yes, like I thought it was. And it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And it does happen. And now it's time to stick blend. And I'm going to stick blend it back together. I'm going to check this temperature here really fast too. Check my temp. It's cooking faster than I wanted to, even on a low heat. So I am going to take it off the heat for temporarily. I'm going to stick blend it. So as you can see, I still have some separation of the oils. but it is slowly coming back together. And it kind of almost reminds me of the very beginning when I started making soap. When I started making the soap, and hopefully it's cooled down a little bit. I'm at still in the 180s. It's in the 180s, so I'm going to just continue to stir. Wow, don't know what happened there. I am going to turn, my crock pot is still on warm. I am going to turn it off because the heat is still a lot higher than I want it to be. If need be, I will turn it back on. So if you look at it, what does it remind you of? It reminds you of the mashed potato stage. One of the interesting things I always find about hot processed soap is that it can still become soap and skip some stages, which is so cool. So at this moment, I'm going to add in my sodium lactate, help loosen it up a little bit. Okay. And now I am going to add in my room temperature honey. No, my room temperature yogurt. It was frozen. I'm adding it in now. I'm adding it in now. And once I stir it up a little bit, I'm just going to let it marinate. As you can see, if you look closely here, look at the shininess. It's already coming through. I think I'm going to add my honey in now while it's marinating. I think it's a good time, which means this is going to be even darker. So I am using a tablespoon of honey per pound of soap. I will give the exact amount in my comment section. Ooh, it looks so pretty. Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Let's let it sit for a few. Again, sit for a minute. That is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to add in my whole oats. Just give them a good stir. And I'm adding in my fragrance oil blend. Hopefully I can get this thing open. It smells absolutely wonderful. I'm adding it in. And let's do a stir here. So I have my oatmeal, I have my whole oats plus my fragrance oil, and I'm just going to stir this up. Just trying to figure out how much I want to put in here, and we're going to nicely add it in here. And as I add the soap inside the mold, got a little bit in here, and next thing I want to do is tap. And you tap hard because I don't want any air bubbles. And I'm tapping again hard. But I love all the types of soap, whether it's hot process, cold process, or glycerin. I'm just texturing the top. Nothing fancy. And whatever I have left, I put it in my little mold here. And I'll use these for samples. I have a lot of soap left over. We don't throw this away. We keep this. There we go. A soap bowl. And it's 3.6 ounces soap bowl. I'm going to put the soap in the freezer and let it freeze overnight. I will be back with you shortly with the cut, and we can see how it came out, okay? I am back, and I have taken the sample soap out of the mold. And one of the things I like to do and try to do is to weigh the soap as soon as it comes out of the mold. And this was in the freezer I left it overnight. But as long as it gets solid all the way through, you can always take it out. I am removing it from the mold, so it's coming out easily, which is good. And I'm looking at it. Overall, I'm pleased. Hopefully there's no air holes inside. And I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to weigh it to get a weight on it. and it's at 41.85 ounces, which also tells me that when I put it in the mold, it was at 42.05 ounces, so it has already lost a little bit of weight. One of the things I'm trying to master this year is determining water loss due to evaporation from making the soap just through the hot process method versus shrinkage as the soap begins to shrink after it comes out of the mold, or additional evaporation. I am cutting my bars at 1 inch each, and let's take this as our first one. It goes through nicely, and oh, I am pleased with this one. This little bit of crumbly there means a little bit, probably a little bit overcooked, but overall it's nice. I'm looking at, if you can see, here are the little pieces of oatmeal, which tells me next time I make this batch again, I may double my oatmeal. I would like to have more texture or visibility of the oatmeal. Nice. All that banging I did for when I put the soap in the mold paid off. Very few air pockets. So what has happened, I have noticed these lines. This line right here in my cut. So what I have decided to do, I am turning the soap on the side, because it does happen, and that comes from the oatmeal being in the soap. It's a normal occurrence when you don't want the line. Sometimes this does work. Let's see if I got rid of my line. And it did. It dissipated. It disappeared. Good. I like that. Really nice rustic look. Very farm to table kind of look. If you are new to soap making, please take the time to learn. I cannot emphasize lye safety enough. It is just so important. I know that there's an excitement when we learn how to make soap and we really want to get to it, but please practice lye safety. And also give yourself time to learn. If you're just learning, start with very small batches. It's no fun losing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds of soap. That's it for now. I thank you for joining me, and I will see you on my next video. Until then, be abundantly blessed, and bye-bye for now. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to comment also and share. Bye-bye.